everybody, welcome back. This is Coach Ross with Coach Ross Football. This is now episode 8 and back to the basics. I want to welcome everybody back, and if you continue to watch this series, I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. I see the subscribers are growing, which is great. If you could do me a favor, subscribe if you have not done so yet, and also leave this video a like if you enjoy it. This episode right here is going to be about the screen game. Well, this is going to start the screen game conversation here. I'm going to do the screen game in probably 2 parts here because it would otherwise it would be a very long video, and I'm going to try and keep this one as short as possible. So in this video, as you can see here on the checklist here, we're going to talk about the now screen and the bubble screens. We're going to keep that together in one video, and in the next video, the part 2 of the screen game, we'll talk about the tunnel screen and the middle screen to the slot receivers. So as you can see, what we've covered here in previous episodes as well here. So right now, again, we are on our now and bubble screens. We've talked about all the philosophy, personnel formations. We've covered stick, corner, and snag. We've talked about 4 verticals. We've also got into the run game a little bit about inside zone, the counter, and the quarterback counter. So moving right along here, again, I'm going to link all the other episodes in the description. Go check those out if you have not done so. Also, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer anything you have, any kind of questions you have. But without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so talking about the screen rules here. First and foremost, me personally, as when I'm running my offense, when I'm calling the offense, I am a big screen guy. I love the screens. I think they are an easy way to get free yardage, especially, what the defense is going to be lining up soft on you. It's very quick hitting plays that are able to put your best receivers, best athletes in space really, really quickly and let them do what they do. Again, essentially in the air raid offense, that is the name of the game, is to put your athletes in the best position to make a play. And in my opinion, with the now screens and the bubble screens, there's no better way than to put your best athletes in space and get the ball to them quick with the ability to move and make a move in open field. So again, I'm a huge screen guy. I love the screen game. It's definitely one of my favorite plays to call, some of these screens. Also, to me personally, I think it's just an extension of the run game too, because it's such a quick hitting play, and you can get to the outside really, really quick and take advantage of the numbers or the leverage that you have on the outside. And again, typically for me, my best athletes are going to be in the slots. So getting those balls to those slot receivers quickly is a huge win for me, especially. So I take great pride in making sure that my screen game is on point. So I'm making sure that during practice, there's a screen session every single day. We're working on some sort of screen here, and we are repping it 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes every practice, just repping it, and making sure that we are really, really good in the screen game, because it's that important to our offense, and I'm sure anybody's offense who runs the air raid. So talking about the bubble screen rules here real quick. We got the O-line is straight up pass protection. Yep, that's it. It's such a quick hitting play. They just need to protect for a second or two. Main rule for the O-line still persists, which is inside, head up, outside. Obviously, you want to protect the inside. Do not give a defender the quickest path to the quarterback. Typically, it's a man versus man pass pro with the center helping to the side with the more inside threat. So yeah, center, typically we see four-man front, excuse me. So typically that center is going to either go, because he's not very, very rarely does he have a man head up with him. So he's going to pick the side where the most inside threat is. So whether that one defensive tackle is shaded to the A gap, he's going to pick a side, and he's going to help basically essentially make a double team there. Play call can either designate where the throw is going to go, or in a straight 2x2 set where a bubble can be ran either side. Quarterback can have the freedom to choose pre-snap to which side of the formation has the better advantage with either numbers or leverage. Quarterback does not have a drop. This is a catch, turn, and throw. Ball needs to be out as fast as possible. Yeah, so if you're in a 2x2 set, a straight 2x2 set, like we call it ace, we run bubbles to both sides sometimes. Sometimes you don't have, you don't have to. This is personally what I do. We can run bubbles to both sides. And quarterback pre-snaps the leverage and the numbers, and wherever he has the advantage, he has the ability to throw either side. So we look at what the numbers look like, the leverage of the corner, the overhangs is a overhang more inside, and the safety's covering that slot receiver. We look at all those factors, and that kind of plays a role into where the quarterback decides where he's going with the ball. But again, that's a pre-snap decision. He's got to make that decision quickly. And then after the snap ball, he's not getting into a drop. He's just turning once he's committed to where he's going, he's turning and he's throwing that ball, and his ball is out as fast as possible. Running back can typically is called to provide protection on the first defender through the A gaps. Yeah, so he's basically just going to provide pass protection. Slot receiver, since we were talking about bubble screen, slot receiver is going to take one step forward, then open his shoulders to the quarterback, backpedaling toward the sideline, giving the quarterback the best targets. Yeah, so basically just going to show the quarterback his numbers once he takes that one step forward, show his numbers, and kind of slowly backpedal because that ball is going to be there quick. Once he catches that ball, wide receiver's main goal is to get to the outside. Got to get to the outside. That's where play is designed to go. That's where he's drifting towards, and that's where we want to get him to, because obviously he moves back towards the middle field. He's got no blocking, and obviously the numbers are not in his advantage. Must read the block with that outside receiver or receivers in a 3-by-1 set, but still try to get to the outside. So yeah, getting to the outside and getting to that open space is key. Now the outside receiver needs to pre-snap most dangerous man according to where the play is going. So he knows the play is designed to go to the outside. He needs to pre-snap and decide where is the most dangerous man. Is it the corner? Is the corner close? Or is it the overhang that could potentially make the best play on the ball? This may be the corner, maybe the overhang defender. Wide receiver must understand leverage and must understand the biggest threat. So he needs to understand the biggest threat based on where that slot receiver is going. Once wide receiver decides who they're blocking from there, it's an understanding that they are not going to block the defender where they are located pre-snap. They need to beat the defender to the spot they are most likely going to be after the snap to make a play on the ball. So yeah, constantly preaching in wide receiver blocking with this is block the man where he's going to be, not where he's at pre-snap, not where he's standing right now. Because if you run directly at that defender, he's just going to sidestep you, run past you, and you're going to miss the block, and he's going to make the play. So based on where that play is going, based on where that slot receiver is slowly fading to, we need to get to a spot to where he's most likely going to be so that you can get in his way and block him so that he's cannot make a quick play on that ball on the ball. And really, with the blocking, he doesn't necessarily even need to make contact. He just needs to get in the way, prevent that closest or most biggest threat from making a play on that ball so that that wide receiver can unimpeded get the ball, get to the outside, and make a move on. He's going to be more than likely one-on-one with either that corner or a safety that comes over to help. I'm now talking about the now screen, which is to the outside receiver here. Most rules between the now and bubble screens are the same regarding the O-linemen, running backs, and quarterbacks. Slot receivers now have to determine where the most dangerous man is pre-snap and must beat that man to a spot where he's most likely going to be posted. So again, the same thing with now the blocking switches to the slot receiver. He needs to understand where that defender that he's going to block is going to most likely be post-snap. Not where he's at pre-snap, but where he's at, where he's going to be. He needs to get to that spot and get in his way and make sure that he is not able to make a play on the ball. Outside receivers' steps will depend on the leverage of the corner. If the corner is 5 yards or closer, and this is just a rule that I use here, it's obviously not set in stone, is closer or closer, then the wide receiver will take 2 hard steps to get that corner to commit to his back pedal. Wide receiver will then come back and retrace his steps, now moving toward the quarterback, but not in full pace because we're not running a tunnel screen here. If corner is 5 yards or more, wide receiver can take 1 step upfield and then quickly turn to the quarterback, showing his shoulders, expecting the ball. So showing his shoulders, showing his numbers, giving him the best target. His next job, once the catch is made, is to get in behind the block and then get out to the outside. So again, this play designed to go to the outside so that receiver is going to come to the inside a little bit, try and get in behind the block of his slot receiver. But then his job after that is to follow that block, but then not break it into the middle field because he's got no help there, but break it back out to the outside. With either now or bubble screens in a 3-by-1 set, the single wide receiver will do a slant. And quarterback has the freedom to throw that slant if there's green grass and the wide receiver essentially is open for example. So yes, the quarterback, in a 3-by-1 set, more than likely is going to be one-on-one with that single receiver is going to be one-on-one with a corner. That corner's leverage is 7 yards off the ball, and we know that we can get that slant right away. Quarterback has the freedom to throw that slant if he needs to, and if he wants to, and if he thinks he can complete it. However, if that leverage is a lot shorter and that corner is up pressed, we probably consider that slant dead pre-snap. And then we just continue with either the bubble screen or the now screen because we attach that single receiver slant to every 3-by-1 set, whether on a screen, whether it's a now screen or a bubble screen or even tunnel screen for that matter. So those are the rules for the now screen and bubble screen. Try and keep them as simple as possible. All right, so here we are looking at our 2-by-2 set, our ace formation here, and I'm going to show you the simple bubble screen that we run out of this. Again, like I said, in a 2-by-2 set, we can run the bubble from both sides, and the quarterback just looks at the leverage and also looks at the numbers and sees which side has the best advantage, especially with our receiver matchups. And then he has the option to go, excuse me, either side with it. So we're just going to kind of focus here on the left side, just so I have it drawn up over here. Again, you see the words here, it says most dangerous man, also flat for 5. That is for flat for 5 if he is going to be going after this overhang defender here. Again, X receiver, he is looking at the most dangerous man, which man has the potential to make the best play on the ball, and then that is the man that he's going to block. So in this scenario right here, corner is backed off a little bit, and the overhang is a little bit more pressed up on the line of scrimmage. So technically right now, as in this scenario, the overhang defender probably could make a play on the ball the best. So we tell him again, do not block where he's at right now, because if he goes and runs straight at that defender's obviously going to sideswipe it and be able to make a play on the ball potentially in the backfield. So we have to get him thinking, where is the ball carrier going to be? Where's he going to catch the pass? Which is in turn, where is this player going to move to try and make a play on the ball? So generally that would be in this area right here. So for that reason, he's going to go flat for 5 and try and cut him off to that spot and either get in his way, alter his path in any way. Doesn't necessarily need to make contact, but just so he alters his path, it makes it harder for him, obviously, to make that play, make the easiest play. And if it's switched, and this defender, and I'll show you that here in a minute, this defender's backed off, corner's up, then he's just simply going to block this corner. Now with H, again, 1 step towards the line, then he's going to open up his shoulders, show the quarterback his shoulders and his numbers, backpedaling to the sideline, and quarterback's just going to turn and throw the ball. So it's going to be a quick throw. So the ball carrier should, in the middle of the field here, should potentially get the ball somewhere in between the numbers and the hash marks. And then he's immediately going to turn it towards the sideline and get upfield. Again, we do not want the ball carrier going anywhere in the middle of the field here, because again, there's no blocking help. Most of the secondary is going to be start flowing that way, and the linemen, they are just pass setting for this play. They are just pass setting, so they are locked on to their guys that they're blocking straight in front of them. They're most dangerous man in front of them, so they're not going to be getting upfield like they would for a tunnel screen or a middle screen. Again, running back 2 is going to be picking up the first thing through either one of the A gaps. Excuse me. So that essentially is our bubble screen here out of our 2-by-2 set. I will show it to you out of a 3-by-1 set as well, because there are a couple things you can do with it. So I wanted to show this to, again, in a different scenario where, say, for example, this defender is back in here and they keep 3 linebackers there. They put a safety over the top here. This corner drops down. Now, obviously, responsibility switch. This safety or this defender here in the back has a much more difficult time trying to make a play on the ball. This linebacker here is still not most dangerous because he still has a long way to cover, a lot of ground to cover to try and make a play on that ball. So right now the corner is the most dangerous man. So therefore, receiver is going to come up here and block him. H would then read this block and either break to the inside of him, then still get to the sideline, or break the outside, depending on where the block is set up. So that is just a different scenario that we would run through this for our bubble screen. This is our now screen out of our 2-by-2 set here. Okay, so this is going to the outside receiver here. So again, just the pass I drew here. Everything with the running backs and the offensive linemen still remains the same. Again, our 2-by-2 set, we run from both sides. So whatever side is the most favorable we are going to throw the ball to, and that is left up at the quarterback once we've repped it enough that he can make that decision. Obviously, out of a 3-by-1 set, we are only throwing it to the trip side. So again, most dangerous man based on where this play is going to be. So again, H is going to be blocking the most dangerous man. Who has potential to make the play most on this potential play based on where the receiver is going to catch the ball? Well, since we are going to try and get this ball to the outside, typically most times with this block, it's going to be that corner almost every single time. Unless that corner is really, really far off, and then this linebacker somewhere playing here in the middle, this corner is almost going to be the player that we defend or we block almost every single time. So again, where is this player going to be? If H runs directly at him, he's going to miss that block. So again, corner is going to be eyeing the X receiver. He's going to be coming up and then coming back. That path typically would take this corner on a straight down path, trying to meet him at the line of scrimmage. So therefore, with H needs to understand that and know that he needs to beat him to a spot and get in his way, alter his path in a way so that it opens up a lane for a receiver. Now, the path of receiver, again, I talked about in the beginning of the video here. If this corner is pressed up, if this corner is pressed up more further here, then X receiver is going to take 2 steps, come back, retrace a little bit slowly. It's a little bit different than the tunnel screen. We run a tunnel screen that's very similar, but he's going to be catching the ball more inside here. But he's going to retrace, come back. You know, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's sprinting there, but he's coming back. So almost to set up the block here. So H is going to be coming across. So he sets up the block, gets in behind him, catches the ball, turns it back upfield. He wants what we say, try and get in. So he's getting in here to catch the ball, and then he wants to get back out into the sideline here. So we say, get in, get out. So he catches the ball, get in, and then get back out. Again, reading this block as best you can. Again, we do not want to break this ball over to the middle of the field here. Again, there's no blocking. For our quick now screen, linemen are staying put again, still pass setting and staying on their men that they have on the line. So this is what we do with now screen. Now, obviously, it changes a little bit for our middle screen and our tunnel screens. That's where we start releasing some linemen. But these quick hitting screens here, where we can get 5-6 yards and keep moving the chains, then we take these. So again, these two type of screens out of a 2-by-2 set are extremely effective. Here's an example of our bubble screen out of a 3-by-1 set here. And it's essentially the same thing, the same concepts, teach the same thing. Now you just have an extra blocker here. And so again, now with the changes here, more than likely they're going to be locked in on the man that's directly in front of them instead of worrying about most dangerous man, since the numbers should be technically even. It should be a 2-on-2, because we're not too worried about this defender right here, because we are backpedaling really quickly into this area of the field that still is a long way for him to travel to try and get there. So typically what we tell Z is to lock on to the man in front of you. Y, lock on to the man in front of you as well. Now, there are a couple things you can do here, and we've done both. It creates a little bit of confusion. Sometimes what we've had Z come over here and set up right here for a block. And then we have the cross block. He comes back here and waits for him to try and make a play on the ball, and kind of sets up this block as well. It's almost like a little bit of a cross block. And so we've set that, we've tagged that before, where it just creates a little bit of confusion. And what it does, we've seen too, is that it creates a little bit of hesitation in here and helps set up the block a little bit easier too as well. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can have them just lock onto the men in front of them, trying to seal to the inside. And so that's one way of doing it. So this is our bubble screen out of our 3-by-1 set here. It changed a little bit with certain different formations, obviously, but the rules still remain the same. Again, if we had the backside receiver here on a slant, so if we see, for example, this linebacker drop down like this, and this corner is pushed back, or even more of an outside leverage right here, and we have this grass, and sometimes we even have this receiver split out a little bit further than where I have him set up here. Then there's that grass right there, and that corner sit back, and that linebackers come down on a rush, which we see a lot of time over 3-by-1 set. That backside linebacker will come on that weak side rush. Then that opens up that grass right there behind her, and the quarterback has the option. If he sees this kind of look right here, pre-snap on the defense, he has the freedom to take that shot too, even though we did call the bubble screen to the trip side. Right, so we're going to kind of just show it to you in here in motion here a little bit. I created some pass for the defenders here, kind of just to show you where they would typically go in this kind of a scenario here. We're only going to focus in on this side of the formation because this is what I showed you in the diagram. So just kind of show you how it sets up. I'll run it through one time here. And we will play it back here and pause it a couple times here, and we'll play it back one more time. So you can see he's supposed to now. I can't really show you a back pedal here, but he's going to back pedal. Quarterback, you don't show him throwing the ball, but right now he's got the ball. He's turning and throwing the ball right now. And so again, he's showing his numbers. He's going flat for 5. You can see how this defender is coming down here to try and pick off or go with his assignment right here. So it almost sets up this block perfectly. He sets up right here. Players on a path here, but it creates a little bit of congestion too. So he's got to kind of come around it to make a play. And again, this is one of our best athletes on the field, if not the best athlete on the field. So taking our opportunity against a one-on-one against a corner, we like those odds quite a bit. So right now he has the ball. He should have the ball right now. So he needs to make a play. Again, this corner would be trying to chase down, potentially maybe even taking a bad angle. At this point, this player, our best player, our H receiver, he's using his speed to get up the sideline. And right now, if this corner doesn't make this play, we have all this grass right here, and really the only player that's in position to make a play on this ball or potentially just a game or a touchdown saving tackle is the safety who's got to get over here. So right now, in this kind of a scenario, if this corner does not make a play on the ball, we are looking at a very, very large play here because, again, we teach kids you're one missed tackle away from a huge play. So here's that one missed tackle, and if he misses that tackle, he's up the sideline and he's gone for a touchdown. And it's just a simple little quick throw. Ball's out. Immediately once the quarterback gets a snap, he's turning and he's throwing. He's turning his hip. He's a right-hand quarterback, and he's throwing the ball immediately right there. And again, the biggest thing is for our bubble screen is this receiver needs to understand who the most dangerous man is. So if he just blocks right here, if he just blocks the corner, then obviously this overhang defender has the easiest chance of making that play. And if he doesn't make that, if he doesn't make that block, doesn't come here and decides to block that corner, then potentially this defender right here is making the play in the backfield, or potentially even breaking up the pass. So the block on that outside receiver is most important. So right here, this block right here, figuring out which most dangerous man is most important. So here it is, a different scenario here again. Who's most dangerous man right now? Right now for the bubble screen, it would be this corner. So receiver's going to block this corner. This receiver is going to read this block right here and either make a play to the inside. But if he makes a play to the inside, we're going to try our best to get to the outside. So tell this defender or receiver here to try and get to that, attack that outside shoulder and seal him to the inside. A lot of times what he'll see is he'll see this block and then he'll try and go make a play the ball. So he almost sets the block perfectly so that he can attack that outside shoulder and seal him to the inside. If he does happen to break this and to the inside here a little bit, he obviously is going to have to contend with this safety or this linebacker that's going to come over. But by the time they are over there to try and make a play, he's about 5 or 6 yards up the field. So this is just a different scenario. We're just going to play it through. And as you can see, he sees it. He recognizes it. He's trying to make a play on the ball. He's trying to get over to that linebacker, trying to go. He's already behind the play here. There's hardly any chance that unless he's, a 5-star 4-3 guy going to make that play, he can't get over there in time. Safety's going to be the number one player that we have to contend with here. He's going to have to take a really, really good angle. He's either going to have to angle around what's going on here, or he's going to have to cut it through the inside. If he tries to cut it through the inside, at that point, the receiver here should already have the ball and up the field here. That's why this the block on the corner becomes that much more important. So we got to make sure we get that block on the corner, and then that receiver does stick with that block on the corner there. So if that's the case, he cuts it to the inside. That again, if this receiver can maintain that block on the cornerback, then this is a big play up the field. Of our now screen here again, this is going to our outside receiver. He's going to take a couple steps, retrace back in, and then get back out. Okay, you're not going to see the ball being thrown. However, just imagine that the quarterback quickly is going to, once he gets snapped, he's going to turn and throw. Obviously, running back has to clear. And get in here and protect either one of these A gaps first thing through. So if one of these linebackers happens to blitz to the A gaps, he's got to pick him up. Again, we are running this both sides, but again, we're still going to just focus in here on the left side here. That's where I have it drawn up. I drew pass for the most logical pass for these three defenders right here. So again, right now, based on where this play is going to go, we want the play to be the outside here. The slot receiver now needs to understand who the most dangerous man is. Where is this ball carrier going to be? Where's the receiver going to catch the ball, and where's he supposed to get to? He's supposed to catch it right here, and he's supposed to get back to the outside. So right now, this player right here, this defender, this overhang defender, not necessarily the most dangerous man here. It would be the corner. So we play it through. He's going to go flat. He's coming back in. He's following. He should have the ball right here. Back up, and he's trying to get back out, as you can see. We'll run it one more time here. So right now he's coming back. Quarterback should already be turning and throwing the ball right now. Right there, he should have it. He should be catching this ball, pivoting back towards the outside, reading this block here, and then he's back out. So again, we try and say, get in, get out. That safety comes down. He might need to take a better angle than that. If he takes that angle, then he won't make play. He has to take almost like a parallel angle to the line of scrimmage to try and cut this play off if we have a good block on the outside. So here you can see is our 3x1 set here, and we're going to be running the bubble obviously to the right here. As you can see, if we get a look like this, where we see this grass right here, the quarterback has the option, and this linebacker decides to come. We do have the option to throw this slant in right here. Now, obviously, if we hit it a couple times, this linebacker is going to cease trying to make that rush, and he's going to kind of just sit in this space here. So obviously, after you hit it once or twice, they'll eventually try and take it away, which then gets us to focus in more here on this. So maybe once or twice a game, we might be able to hit this even out of the bubble screen call. So again, that's just one thing or another advantage to this play or this formation, especially is that one-on-one opportunity we get on the backside. All right. So in this kind of scenario right here, most dangerous man, obviously, where's the play going to be? It's going to be coming to the outside. We're trying to get to the outside. So outside receiver, man up. Middle receiver, man up right here. Again, this player right here is going to be unblocked. However, since the receiver is going to be trying to catch the ball here, that's a long space for him to cover. So we typically leave him unblocked because these two other defenders right here would most likely have the opportunity to make a play. And I will show you a different scenario here in a second with this 3x1 set. But right now, where it stands right here, again, they need to recognize where the most dangerous men are, especially this middle receiver, okay, because it's obviously these roles are changed a little bit and their leverage is different. It changes some things a little bit. So we just have this middle receiver especially has to recognize that. So let's just run it through, show you what it looks like. So again, he's chasing the play. But by that point, this receiver should already have the ball. And again, our H receiver is the inside receiver. So he should have that ball very, very quickly and already up the field, trying the best as can to get up to the sideline here. Again, the seal block to the inside, try and open up the sideline, and we are trying to get the space. And again, the safety could have a choice of coming down. He could meet it across here, but by that point, we already have 10, 15 yards if this defender right here does not make the play on the ball. And he's up the sideline. Look at it again, right here, trying to meet him to a spot. Again, do not run directly at the defender. Try and meet at a spot where they are going to be after the snap, not where they are pre-snap. Meet them there, alter their path, and get in their way. Again, a blocking for a receiver does not necessarily mean you have to make contact. You just need to alter the path and get in their way and prevent them from making a play on the ball. He's backpedaling. He should have the ball right now, essentially. His quarterback's just going to turn and throw. If he's a right-hand quarterback, an easy throw, just turn and throw right there. And he should already have the ball. Again, you see the trailing defender here. And again, unless he's 4.3 speed, he's going to have a difficult time making that play. And then obviously we're going to be putting the ball in the hands of one of our fastest players, if not our fastest player, getting up the sideline with two blockers in front of him. So again, that's one thing where we like that matchup. We like our chances with that. I want to show you too what it would look like with the cross block here. Again, Now this block becomes more important. Now this defender, if we call the cross block on this receiver right here, becomes that block becomes that much more important. He needs to signify between one of these players right here which one's most dangerous. So we're gonna switch this, and he's gonna grab the corner. Corner's gonna come down, so more than likely the block's gonna take place here. This receiver needs to get most dangerous man that comes across here. More likely, again, it's going to be this player right here. He doesn't want to go ahead and block this inside guy because it leaves this guy right here. The opportunity to make the play right here is where the receiver's going to catch the ball. We don't want to leave him unblocked. So again, what's going to happen? This defender more than likely is just going to come down. So typically the block's going to take place right there. Receiver needs to understand where that's going to be. Do not run directly at this player because you will miss the block. Same thing with this player. Same thing with this receiver right here. Do not run directly at this corner and try and make the play. Do not. It's not a beeline right to that cornerback. Cut him off to where he's going to more likely go. Okay, he may even come and follow a little bit his outside receiver responsibility here. So he may actually pick up the block right here, depending on what he's looking at. If he's in a zone, he's going to be looking here. He's going to recognize that it's coming down here of a screen. He's going to come down this way. If he's in man and he sees this receiver go this way towards this defender here, then he's going to shift over a little bit here before he recognizes what the play actually is. So it says the block. So again, understand where the blocks can potentially be. The block could potentially be right there or right there. So receivers need to understand. And again, this is just repetition and practice to make them understand. So you throw different looks at them to make sure they understand how they're going to block it, where they're going to block it, and make sure that they just do not block directly at the defender post snap. So this is what it would look like. Again, there's your trailing defender. At that point, he's chasing our fastest player with the ball, and we're up the sideline again. So what we've seen before when we've used this cross block tag here is it creates obviously a little bit of confusion here, a little bit of hesitation. And with that little bit of hesitation, it's all we need to set up the blocks a little bit easier and for this player to get the ball in space and get up to full speed up the sideline. So with this right here, with this crossing right here, this does at this point right now, there is typically a lot of not a lot of hesitation, but slight hesitation right here where it makes the defender stop and think for a split second on what's going on, which allows us to set up the blocks better. Right now, at this point in the play, this quarterback should be turning and throwing the ball. The ball should be essentially in the air right now. And so he should be backpedaling and getting to the sideline. Right now, those blocks should be set up because they're coming down. They're not expecting the cross block here, and he's up the sideline. All right, so here's the different scenario here. If we are running the bubble screen out of our 3x1 set here, now this receiver has to understand who the most dangerous man is, who's my blocking assignment going to be, who has the opportunity to make a best play on the ball. Since this defender over him is about 10 yards off the ball, now it shifts to this inside overhang defender right here because he's obviously the closest to the receiver that's going to be receiving the ball. And if this receiver goes and blocks at 10 yards here or at 7 yards, but that defender comes down, this player right here essentially has an unimpeded path to the ball carrier. Whereas if this defender was down here low, like the last scenario, and they are getting into their scrum as far as blocking, this defender has to go around that to try and make a play or come around it this way. So either way, he has to go around it to try and make a play on his ball carrier, which obviously slows his path down. So now if he was to go up there and engage at 10 yards with this defender, there's nothing in his way to make a play on that ball. And he can just make a beeline for the ball carrier once he recognizes what the play is. So now this receiver here has to recognize, okay, now the most dangerous man is this inside overhang defender right here. And so we will leave this player right here unblocked, okay, in every 3x1 set, essentially, or any kind of screen like that. We are going to leave a player unblocked, but typically we're trying to get the ball to our best player. So H typically is our best athlete, our fastest athlete on the field. So a one-on-one matchup with any one of these secondary defenders we like, and especially if we get him the ball in space with the ability to get up to top speed really quickly, we like our chance against any one of these defenders. And then on top of that, the angle that this defender has to choose matters a lot because if he chooses an inside angle, he's got to come down 10 yards. At that point, this receiver right here already has the ball and is making his way up. So now he has to either go around this or his other option would be to cut off the ball carrier at this point. At that point, obviously, this receiver has the ball, is getting up the field here, and should be at top speed. And now he's got to make a move one-on-one with this safety or linebacker, whoever it might be, in the open field. And again, like I said, we like our chances with this receiver right here in the open field, one-on-one against anybody. That's the way it would look. Now, obviously, at this point, this defender wouldn't stop right there. He'd be either keep going with this path, or he would have to change direction and change his path this way. At that point, he has to get back up to his top speed, where this receiver right here should already be at top speed and up the sideline. And then now this defender here has to just take a long angle to try and cut him off from the end zone. So bubble screen out 3x1 can be a huge play. And I want to just point you out right here. You see the space that can be created with that one-on-one matchup. And if a quarterback sees that and this linebacker comes down right here unblocked, this space right here is open. So we also teach to look for this too. Again, obviously, if we hit this one-on-one slant a couple times, then this defender stops coming and he kind of sits back there. So we have to be, aware of that. But this slant typically is good for 1 or 2 completions a game, I would say. But that is our bubble screen right there out of the 3x1. We don't typically run a now screen out of our 3x1 set, because essentially what that would be, we would just turn it into a total screen to add more blockers at the point where we are going to be throwing the ball. And that's where we release the lineman. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is part 1 of the screen game. Part 2 will be talking about the tunnel screen, be talking about the middle screen to the slot receivers. If you like this video, please give it a like. Please give it a thumbs up. It helps the video get seen more. And again, I want to reach out to as many coaches as I possibly can to try and help them. If anyone's trying to think about installing this type of offense into their program, whether it be youth, middle school, high school, it works on all levels, in my opinion. Again, what you are watching from these videos is not textbook. I'm not, I'm borrowing from other coaches. I'm kind of adding some things that I would do as well. So by no means is what I say gospel as far as when it comes to the air raid offense. Not even close. But these are, in my opinion, things that have worked for me, and I want to share them with you in hopes that it helps you as well in building your offense and helping you be successful on the field. So again, like I said, if you like this video, give it a like, share this video, please get it out to other coaches. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow so that more coaches can see it, and it helps out and reaches out more to anybody else that might need this kind of help. So again, I appreciate the support, everybody that has. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you have any feedback, please leave them in the comments, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the next video.